In this video, we want to look at writing equations of lines given certain information. So starting here in this first question, we were told that for a line, the slope is 7, and we're going to be going through the ordered pair negative 3, 8. Now, for a lot of these problems, if we just start with the slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b, that's really the easiest thing for us to do. Because what we can do is that we can identify that we were given a slope right here, and we were given a very particular solution, x and y. And so what I can do is that I can plug these values in for the slope, for the x, and for the y, and that just leaves us with finding the b. And remember, the b connects with the y-intercept, or the y-intercept. It's the y-coordinate for the y-intercept. So your y here is 8, your slope is 7, x is negative 3, and then plus b. So basically you have here a formula. You plug in everything that you know. You have one guy that you don't know, which is the b value, and so you're going to take this equation and solve it for b. So 8 is equal to negative 21 plus b. And then we just want to isolate the b by adding 21 to both sides. And so now we have that 29 equals b. But here's what we need to understand about that. Just because b equals 29 doesn't mean that we're done. Okay? So b equals 29 is only part of what we need. M equals 7, which is the piece that you were given at the very beginning, combined with this b value, leads to the equation y is equal to 7x plus 29. Okay? And so that would be the equation in slope-intercept form. Now you can do some manipulating and rearrange some terms, and you want to put this in standard form. That would be 7x minus y is equal to negative 29. Okay, now let's go into this next one. For this next equation, for this next problem, we have the slope is negative 8/3 and the y-intercept is 0, 19. So y equals mx plus b. Start there, and also realize that you are given the slope right away, and they gave you the y-intercept. So if they give you the y-intercept, that means you already know the b value. And really, that's enough for us to go ahead and write our equation. So y is equal to our slope, negative 8/3, times x plus my b value, which is 19. So this is unlike the problem that we have at the top of the page, where you were given the slope and you were just given a random point. So this point is not the y-intercept. You see that it doesn't match up with the 29 that we have here. But when you were given the y-intercept, this y-coordinate is that b value that we have right here. And that's only because we were given the y-intercept. Now, if you want to take this and convert it into standard form, that is just a matter of you taking this and getting all the x's and y's on the same side and clearing out the fractions. So, please understand that this right here would be good enough for me. Let's go over here to the side and try to convert this to standard form. So the first thing is to go ahead and move the x term to the other side. So that would give you a positive 8/3 x plus y equals 19. And with standard form, we don't like to leave fractions, so we would need to multiply everything here times the LCD, which is just 3. So we're going to multiply every term here times 3. That's going to leave us with 8x plus 3y, and 3 times 19 is 57. So here would be your answer in standard form. All right, I have one last question here, and this is writing the equation of a line that goes through 2 points. Now, you're not given the slope like you were in the other 2 problems, but that's okay, because we actually have a formula for calculating the slope. Remember that the slope is rise over run, and when we're dealing with this in a formula, that's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So as long as you label these ordered pairs correctly, we shouldn't have a problem. So if you call this one x1, that means this guy has to be y1, and this is x2, and that is y2. Whenever you're trying to find the slope and you're using the slope formula, you want to make sure that you're very careful about how you use parentheses and how you substitute in these values. So we're going to do a big fraction here. I'm going to do parentheses minus parentheses, so that's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 in the denominator. And so now we just plug in the values that we have. So y2 here is 16 minus y1, which is 4, over, so x2 is negative 2, and x1 is negative 5. And I hope you see the reason why I'm using the parentheses and the subtraction signs, because the subtraction signs are part of the formula, and the parentheses are there for when you substitute in those values. See, this minus is part of the formula, but now this negative is part of what you're plugging in. And so by having the parentheses there already, it's going to help you keep your sign straight. Now, I like to go from here and just kind of clean things up a little bit. So in the numerator, that's just 16 minus 4 over, that's still negative 2. This becomes now a plus 5 like that. And so we finish this out. This is 12 over 3, which means that my slope is equal to 4. And now that we have the value of the slope, we can use that plus either of these ordered pairs and just work it the same way we did the first problem in this video. So let's start with the slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. So we have the slope because we just found it, and you can use either of these ordered pairs. It doesn't matter which one, because what we're trying to do now is we're trying to take one of these ordered pairs, plug it in here for x and y, and that should be enough to tell us what b is. Now remember, b is going to be the y-coordinate of the y-intercept. So it doesn't matter which ordered pair you use. They should still be able to get back to the exact same y-intercept because we're looking at the line that goes through those 2 points. I'm going to start here with negative 5 and 4. It's the first one listed, so why not just use that? Y is 4. My slope is 4, and my x value here is negative 5. And it's the plus b that I'm trying to find. Now, if you don't like using negative 5 and 4 and you would rather use negative 2 and 16, do that. You're going to find out that the b value is exactly the same. Okay? So, working this out, 4 equals negative 20 plus b. Isolate b by adding 20 to both sides. And we get 24 is equal to b. So there's my b. And here is the slope that I found way over here. And now it's just a matter of combining these two guys to write our equation. So y is equal to 4x plus 24. And it's also a pretty simple task to check your work. If you plug in negative 5 here, 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. Negative 20 plus 24 gives you positive 4, so that guy checks out. Plug in negative 2. So 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 24 is 16. Everything checks out, so this is going to be the equation of the line that goes through these 2 points.